An LED headlight upgrade on a 2002 Polaris Pro X 440 fan cooled. This is going to run AC current at the headlight plug. So to start, you're going to pull apart this right here. You've got a few screws here, 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 kind of all the way around. And this plastic part comes down, just a protector for all the electronics and headlights up here. So you've got a headlight plug here, headlight plug here. This is going to use our H4 headlight kit. High power series is what we're going to be putting in here, the 130 watt. That's our best kit that we sell. It produces 13,000 lumens, 130 watts of power. And on this sled, because it runs AC current, which is alternating current at the plugs here, we're actually going to be installing some rectifiers as well, and those just plug right into the headlight plug, and then the LED plugs into that afterwards. So for that 02 Pro X 440, we're going to be needing our H4 kit, like I was saying, which is going to be these guys right here, and also our rectifier kit, which is right here. And I'll take that apart in a moment and just show you what they look like. So here's that headlight kit I was just telling you about, H4 kit. For this, you're going to need 2 bulbs, and you're also going to need our rectifier kit, which is our H4 or H4X rectifier kit, which plugs right into the headlight plugs also for this, because it runs the, like I was saying, the AC current. So I'll take these out here. These are LEDPowersport high power series, PowerSport specific bulbs. So I'll set that there. That's what the rectifiers look like. They just plug right in. Instruction manual. And then here's the headlight bulbs we're going to be using. They also have a separate power driver too, which is more consistent power. Kind of a canvas setup in case your sled needs canvas, but this one actually needs the rectifiers as well in addition. So that's what they look like. Flip it over. Back, customer service email. So we'll get to pulling out these old bulbs here and go over to the sled. Always remember to wear your rubber, nitrile or latex rubber gloves, basically, just to make sure you don't get hand oil on any of the connectors, you know, like the metal components in there, brass, copper components. Dielectric grease is also helpful when you're plugging everything in, but if you get hand oil on the LED chipsets, as an example, if you're handling any of this without gloves, it does void our warranties. That's stated too on every product page and also on our policy page. Just because it can and will eventually, sometimes pretty quickly, burn out these LED chipsets too. And the reason we have that policy too is it's pretty dang easy. Even if people say they're gonna just handle it from the back of the fan, pretty dang easy to transfer when you're installing stuff. So any type of handling or installation without these, it does void the warranty. So make sure too, if you're sending us pictures, that you're tossing on gloves prior to taking pictures of the bulbs if you're handling them. Yeah, just something good to kind of note. It does burn them out. So I'll go back over here. These headlight plugs get disconnected here from the back. So I'll go ahead and disconnect those. Plug right there. Unplug right there. They can be kind of stuck in there if they've never been removed in 20 years. Some of these sleds, this is what, 2025, 02, so heck, 23-year-old sled already. And there's just a little clip for a lot of these H4s. They're a little different. If yours has the rubber boots on the back yet, make sure you take those off and leave them off on all of our LEDs. That just creates too much heat, and it can actually eventually melt or just burn out your headlights way ahead of time. There's no need for them either. It's just more of a dust cover, and the LEDs have a rubber O-ring inside of them too, between the clip and the housing itself, so they seal out most of the moisture for you that way. So then this clip just flips up. These old H4 bulbs just pull right out. You leave the clip right on there, you're going to reuse all that stuff. See, old H4 halogen. They were good technology at the time when they came out, but these LEDs are just so much nicer for seeing at night if you get the correct ones. I mean, there's plenty of LEDs out there that aren't indexable and just aren't high quality, and they don't produce enough brightness in the halogen housings that they just don't work that well. Our high power series is actually indexable, so you can turn the bulb in itself in its own collar and adjust it. And I can show you that too here. This collar actually rotates around and allows you to adjust that beam pattern so you don't have any dark spots, and you also control where that beam is going on the trail. So what you're going to do here, try to hold the phone. These just turn like this. So they're clockable or indexable bulbs is what they're called. That just comes off like that. You can see on these H4s. Then you're going to take the clip, go up to your housing right here, see how it's positioned. Looks like, see, it's actually got index marks on there, so you can see exactly how you're installing it. You actually install the clip first like that. A lot of people, not a lot, but I should say some people, they go and don't realize that you can take these colors off the LED and they can't fit them in there and install them, and you get a number of emails with people asking about that. And it's pretty simple. They just turn off. You install that just like that, and I'll get the other ones over there too. And when I was turning, I can actually hear it click, every little index mark. So then you just like that. That goes towards the top on this model. These housings, again, this is a 2002 Polaris Pro X 440 fan. Most of these Pro X are going to be the same with the two H4s on the edge chassis. And this clip, see, just gets, the collar is in place, and then this retaining clip just goes like that. It's basically just spring loaded. Keeps in there pretty tight, see, locked in place. And then I'll show you here how these just turn back in place. Then you're going to go and grab your LED. And even with gloves on, try not to touch the chipsets or anything. Still try to hold it from the back just so you don't damage anything. Then you're going to find where it lines up in here. See how it popped in place? And it should push in and see what way it turns. This one's going to turn up, and you can hear it actually kind of clicking like a clock almost as it, with those indexing marks. So you can even count if you want where it's going in. That pushes in, and then you can hear the clicks. Yeah, there we go. So those are in there. And what we're gonna do, I like to start with either aligning them so the beams are either side to side or up and down. Just depends on the housing where it's gonna go exactly. So I'm gonna try to get those aligned the same. This one has to, this side, kind of turn a little bit. And that went the wrong way. So there's a click right there. And then see how it's up and side to side, kind of like that, vertical. That's how I usually start on this one. I already got dang close, as you can see in there, kind of. And again, it just depends on the reflectors and the housing where it's going to go exactly. Because some housings work better side to side, some work better up and down. And got that adjustment on the bulb itself then to angle that beam, in addition to your headlight adjuster on your actual sled for up and down, which is, I believe, going to be right here on this model. Yeah, that angles your housing itself. So that's just, you know, turning that thing clockwise or counterclockwise for up and down beam adjustment on the housing. This just gives you so much more control with their 130 watt high power series indexable ones. So you've got these sitting like that now. Then you're going to grab your plug and play AC/DC H4 rectifiers, and these are just gonna plug right in to your LED, as you can see right there. Same H4 plug. I made pretty tight, just so they don't rattle loose. So that's plugged in there, and these are pretty tough boxes. I mean, if they bang around a little bit, they're inside here. There's a capacitor resistor as well, and there's an actual PCB board that controls everything. So once these actually charge up, which is pretty quick when you power up your sled, your power for your LEDs is actually coming directly from this box via the capacitor. They don't allow current to flow back into the system if you have an AC system. Only allow current once they're charged up to go directly to the LED itself, which prevents, you know, wiring burn downs on your sled, which not a lot of people really know about, but that's why you're going to need this on a lot of sleds. Skidoos, most of them don't need it. So you plug that in, same thing on that side, and then you're going to find your actual plug here, and that plugs into that system, and then you're going to zip tie it all up. And I'll just go ahead and plug this in here, and when I come back, show you what I all did. So I'm back here with this 2002 Polaris Pro X 440. We just got our 130 watt high power series LEDs installed. Here's our rectifiers that we plugged in, 130 watt kit, LED, same over here. So what I just did where we left off is kind of tied everything up with zip ties underneath here, just so it doesn't rattle around too much, you know, keeps everything kind of up in place. Doesn't need to be super tight, but just enough to kind of keep it all in place, so you're not getting vibrations and stuff like that. Also, these things do create a little bit of heat, the rectifiers. Not super hot, but they do get warm. So just kind of tying them up out of the way off of other wiring like that. So I kind of got it up here where it's more protected. Same thing right over here. And then what we're gonna do is pop this plastic guy back on. That's just your cover on these old thinking about Skidoos, but this is a Polaris, and these old edge chassis Polarises. That's going to go up in place, so I'll get that screwed back in place and this back on top, and then we'll get it running and show you what it looks like. So there's that cover all back on this 02 Pro X 440. Just kind of a side note, there were 3 screws that hold this in place missing. Just kind of something to note. If you're working on something and you see some parts that are missing, especially screws, and maybe just replace them. That's what I did. I had them here at the shop, so just tossed them in for the customer. Yeah, so that's all nice and tight, doesn't rattle around, no issues in the future. And we got this little protector here that's just gonna get, kind of covers it all up. That just goes in place right here. I'm gonna wait to put that on just to kind of start this guy up here and see what she looks like first, if there needs to be any adjustments. Packaging, stuff like this, you know, what I would say, if the customer wants the halogens, keep them. If you guys do, you know, we got a couple of drawers here with old halogens and bulbs that we removed for customers and prior stuff that we've worked on. We just saved just in case. Get to the point you just got so many laying around, you can just toss them too, I guess, if you don't use them. High power series, that's what they are, 130 watt kit. So you're going to want to save the packaging as well that we sent you with the bulbs, just in case you ever have any warranty issues, to be able to send those back if we request that. We're going to want the packaging back as well for these, especially our 130 watt kit, just because of how much they run. Okay, so that's all done, and then you're just going to start her up. Set this down for now. Pretty nice looking sled for 23 years old. And if you look here too, they look pretty sweet in there. They're green. It's our signature green LEDPowersport LED. Okay.